Hi everyone. This time we will tackle about science, technology and nation building. It refers to the utilization of scientific knowledge and technological advancements to derive a controls development improving the quality of life for its citizens by creating new industries, solving societal problems, boosting the economy and enhancing overall progress across various sectors like healthcare, agriculture, and infrastructure. This section situates science, technology, and society in the context of Philippine nation building. It initially surveys contributions Filipino scientists to the science and technology, and then traces the historical development and impact of science and technology on the various segments of the Philippine society. These discussions are geared toward engaging students in a critical analysis of science and technology as a tool for nation Sinasabi building. Dito ang tungkol sa konteksto ng Philippine nation building at ang pagsisiyasat sa mga naging kontribusyon o ambag ng mga Filipinong scientist sa ating bansa at ang makasaysayang pag-unlad at mga naging epekto ng science and technology sa Pilipinas at ang seksyon na ito ay nakatuon sa pag-eengganyo sa mga estudyante upang magsagawa ng kritikal na pagsusuri. Intended learning outcomes. First, identify the contributions of Filipino scientists in the science and technology. Second, enumerate critical points in the history of science and technology in the Philippines and how these developments affected society and the environment. Third, explain the role of science and technology in the nation building. Una, i-identify yung mga naging contribution ng Filipino scientists. Pangalawa, i-enumerate yung mga critical points sa history ng science and technology and kung paano na-develop at naging nakakapekto ito sa environment. At pangatlo, i-explain ang mga rule ng science and technology. Here are some Filipino scientists. First, Anacleto del Rosario, which is the father of Philippine Science and Laboratory. Del Rosario invented the formula for producing a pure kind of alcohol from tuba in Anipa palm. This formula won for Del Rosario the first prize during the World Fair in Paris, France in 1889. Naimbento niya daw yung formula kung paano i-produce ang pure kind of alcohol from tuba in Anipa palm. Alam niyo ba yung tuba? Ito yung alcoholic drink na galing sa coconut palm tree. Second, we have Francisco Quisumbing, a Filipino botanist claimed to be the inventor of quink ink used by the Parker Pen Company. He studied the Philippines and the USA, gaining a BSc from the University of the Philippines School of Agriculture, Los Baños in 1918 and an MSc in 1921. Ayan yung example ng quick ink. Ito yung ink na nilalagay natin sa mga pentel pen and etc. Inimbento niya ito at ginagamit ng Parker Pen Company. Third, we have Gregorio Zara. Gregorio Y. Zara, 1902 to 1978, was a Filipino engineer and physicist who invented the first two-way video phone, also known as a television telephone. He known as the father of video conferencing. This two-way video phone is para siyang, kumbaga, video call ngayon. Para siyang ganun na makikita mo yung kausap mo, then nakikita niyo yung isa't isa while magkausap kayo sa phone. Here are some inventions and discoveries of Gregorio: video phone, alcohol, solar, Zara effect, propeller, microscope, and vapor chamber. Solar powered, part of his effort para ma-improve yung energy production and harnessing. Zara effect, the physical law of electrical kinetic resistance. Propeller, invented along the wooden aircraft propellers. Microscope with the collapse. One of his other invention, vapor chamber, used to visualize radioactive
We
elements.
have also Julian Banzon. Banzon investigated the use of indigenous crops as sources of renewable fuels and chemicals. He researched the production of ethyl ester biofuels from sugarcane and coconuts and developed new methods for extracting oil from coconuts using chemicals. Yung picture sa baba, yan yung example ng how to produce o paano siya gawin ang ethyl ester biofuels na galing sa sugarcane at coconuts. Ethyl ester means a compound that contains ethyl and an ester that produces ethyl alcohol when hydrolyzed. Ethyl esters have many uses including in food, medicine, and research. Manuel Guerrero. He was a Filipino medical doctor who studied beriberi in infants in the Philippines. Pacific exhibition writer for the publications La República Filipina, La Independencia, and La Patria, staff members of the Revista Filipina de Medicina y Farmacia. Siya yung nag-aral sa sakit na beriberi sa mga infants dito sa Pilipinas. Beriberi means yan yung sakit na sanhi ng kakulangan ng vitamin 1 sa ating katawan. Ignacio Mercado. Among the contributors in recording medical plants is Father Ignacio Mercado, known to be the first local botanist to record more than 200 plants that thrive in the Philippines. No one knew the names of or benefits of plants during this era, and these work greatly contributed to discovery Siya
of
ang
plants.
nag-contribute at nag-record ng medical plants na almost 200 plus, and grabe, walang may alam ng pangalan or benefits ng mga plants na yun during that era. And his work greatly contributed para ma-discover yung plant species na yun. Trinidad Pardo de Tavera was a Filipino physician, historian, and linguistic who contributed to science and technology in the Philippines. His work documented Philippine medical plants and herbs and preserved them in local languages. Siya yung nag-contribute ng science and technology sa Pilipinas, and his work documented here in the Philippines in medical plants and herbs na pineserve nila sa local languages. Here are some contribution. Plantas Medicinales de Filipinas, a book published in 1892 that documented Philippine traditional medicine, preservation of medical knowledge. His work helped preserve some of the world's unique medicinal knowledge. First chair of the Department of Linguistics at the University of the Philippines. Contribution to the study of ancient Filipino alphabet. He wrote Contribution para el estudio de los antiguos alfabetos Filipinos in 1884. Ramon Barba was a Filipino inventor and horticulturist best known for inventing a way to induce more flowers in mango trees using ethyl and potassium nitrate. Barba was proclaimed a national scientist of the Philippines in June 2014. Inimbento niya yung chemical na pwedeng gamitin para mag-increase o lumago yung mga flowers sa prutas o mga crops including mangoes. We have Agapito Flores. He invented the fluorescent lamp, and its very name is indelible proof of its inventor. Inimbento niya yung fluorescent lamp at yung naging pangalan nito is indelible proof. Alam niyo ba yung indelible proof? Ito yung ebidensya na hindi pwedeng ma-erase. This fluorescent is produce visible light, and alam niyo ba, ang fluorescent ay nanggaling sa apelyido niyang Flores. And lastly, we have Juan Salcedo Jr. Contributed immensely to the areas of biochemistry, nutrition, physiology, as science administration to science policy development, science promotion, and scientific manpower development. He has published 265 works and researches in the Philippines and foreign science journals. Gumawa siya ng 265 works and researches. Let's move on in science technology during the pre-colonial period. This time, yung mga tao daw is gumagamit lang ng herbal medicine para magamot yung mga sakit nila. To facilitate trading, Filipinos made use of writing, numerical, measurement, and calendar system. Farming, fishing, mining, and weaving, yung first na mga livelihood skills na na-develop ng mga Filipino. In some cases, yung ginawang technique ng mga Filipino para ma-develop yung livelihood nila at nagkaroon ng magandang resulta upang ma-attract ang buong mundo at nagkaroon ng atensyon kagaya na lamang ng Banawe Rice Terraces ng mga Ifugao. Science technology during the Spanish colonial period. Dito naman na-develop yung mga establishments of formal educations, nagkaroon ng institution, nagkaroon ng launching of organizations, mga organizations. Schools were mandated na para magturo ng religion, mathematics, pagbabasa, pagsusulat, at music and arts, and health and sanitation. Nagkaroon na din ng medicine and biology were taught in different educational and training institution. Mga training institutions since agriculture was the major livelihood of Filipinos. Train sila kung paano gamitin yung mga innovative approaches in farming. Tapos, to construct building, churches, bridges, roads, and forts. Engineering was introduced and well-developed. Wow! Na-develop na yung mga engineer, na-introduce na sila. The rapid development of scientific principles influenced by Western culture during the Spanish colonial period was short-changed. This is why agriculture and industrial developments were during the latter part of the Spanish era. Instead, trade was prioritized due to possible bigger profits. And nung dumating yung mga Amerikano, yung institution sa science and technology ay na-reorganize. For example, yung the former of Laboratorio Municipal is na-change sa Bureaus of Government Laboratories under ng United States Department of Interior. Na-establish ito dahil sa pag-aaral sa tropical diseases at ma-pursue yung other related research projects. And noong 1933, na-establish ang National Research Council of the Philippines. Then, developments in science and technology during the American. Then, nag-focus lang ito sa agriculture, medicine and pharmacy, food processing, and forestry. And we proceed during the time of former President Ferdinand Marcos. During his time, the role of science and technology in national development was emphasized. Mas lalong lumaki. Department of Education and Culture dati, na ngayon ay Department of Education or DepEd, ay na-promote ang science courses in public high schools. Additional budget for research projects ay in-apply sa science and science education. Isang malaking chunk of the war damage fund from the Japanese was donated to private universities and colleges for the creation of science and technologies. The 35 hectares lot in Bikutan, Taguig was proclaimed in 1968 as the Philippine Science Community. Seminars, workshop, trainings programs, and scholarship on fisheries and oceanography were also sponsored by the government during Marcos' presidency. Wow! Mas binibigyang pansin na para mas umunlad ang ekonomiya ng bansa. May seminars, mga workshop, at saka training programs na din. And also, meron na ding scholarship on fisheries na sponsor ng gobyerno. The Philippine Coconut Research Institute or PhilCoRIN was tasked to promote the modernization of the coconut industry. Several agencies and organizations were then established like the following. That's all. Thank you.
I am Janelle Capindo, and this is the continuation of the previous reporter. So, International Rice Research Institute or IRRI, Bureau of Plant Industry, Bureau of Forest Product, and the National Committee in Geological Sciences. The National Development Board or NSDB was recognized as the National Science and Technology Authority or NSTA in year 1981. So, ang National Development Board is na-recognize siya as a National Science and Technology Authority noong year 1981. So, in year 1976, Marcos established the National Academy of Science and Technology, or NAST, to be the reservoir of scientific and technological expertise in the country. So, in year 1976 naman, si Marcos nag-establish ng National Academy of Science and Technology to be the reservoir of scientific and technological expertise sa ating country. So, and the Science High School was established during Marcos' time. So, Ang Science High School naman is in-establish din siya during Marcos time. So, in 1986, under President Corazon Aquino, NSCA was renamed as Department of Science and Technology or DOST. So, noong 1986 naman, under ni President Corazon Aquino, ang NSTA ay pinalitan ng Department of Science Technology. So this was done in order for the science and technology sector to be represented in the cabinet and thus play an integral role in the country's sustainable economic and recovery growth. So, in order for the science and technology daw, ito yung nagre-represent ng cabinet and thus play an integral role sa ating bansa, which is nabibigay siya ng sustainable economic recovery and growth. So, in 1987, during the presidency of Fidel Ramos, the Philippines had approximately 3,000 competent scientists and engineers. So, the Doctors Robario program made healthcare accessible even in the far-flung areas in the country. So, dati kasi, meron silang gumawa sila ng program na healthcare para maka-access yung mga nasa malalayong lugar ng ating country kung saan yung mga tao is wala masyadong or nasa rural area. So, the national program for gifted Filipino children in science and technology was created for high school students who wanted a major in science and technology in college. So, ang national program is para siya sa mga Filipino children na gusto maging major yung science at maging engineering in college. So, in Ramos' term, that a number of laws and status related to the science and technology sector were mandated, such as the Republic Act 8439 or Magna Carta for Scientists and Engineers, Research and Science and Technology Personnel in Government, and Republic Act 7687, Science and Technology Scholarship Act of 1994. So, this is the Republic Acts that President Fidel Ramos mandated. So, we have two Republic Act that during the presidency of Joseph Estrada, it mandated. So, first we have Republic Act 8749, the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999, and the Republic Act 87942, Electronic Commerce Act of 2000. So, during the administration of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the science and technology sector were developed to strengthen the education system and to address poverty. So, during the presidency of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, ang science and technology sector ay na-develop para strengthen ang education system para sa mga mahihirap. So, the term Philippinovation was coined to refer to the Philippines as an innovate hub in Asia. So, she also promulgated the RA 9367, the Biofuels Act, to utilize indigenous materials as resources of energy. So, siya din yung promulgate ng mga materials para sa sources ng kuryente ng mga indigenous people. So, in 2014, President Benigno Aquino III named the new national scientist, namely Gavino Citrono. So, he successfully developed, panned, and open water culture technologies and managements of stock of economically important seaweed species of the Philippines. So, he is a marine biology. Second, Angel C. Alcala. He was the first scientist to comprehensively study the reptiles and amphibians of the Philippines. So, he is the biological science. Third, we have Ramos C. Barba, was a national scientist of the Philippines who made significant contribution to agricultural, horticultural, and plant physiology. So, he is horticulture. So, fourth is Edgardo D. Gomez. So, he was recognized for his contribution in marine ecosystems, coral reef of ecology, and he is a marine biology. So, formulation of programs and policies that will aid in shaping his backup President Rodrigo Duterte. So, the formulation of programs now and policies is na-aid siya in shaping the country when President Rodrigo Duterte naging president. So, the focus of DOST is to put the result of RD into commercialization in order to gain a new intellectual properties. So, Philippines has the Philippine Space Technology Programs, which launched Diwata 2nd in 2018 after the launch of Diwata 1st in 2016 that displayed the flag in space. So, that's all. Thank you.
Science and Technology in the Philippines and Environment. Science and technology have numerous contributions to society. Ang science and technology is malaki ang impluensya, maraming kontribusyon sa ating lipunan lalo na sa Pilipinas. The mechanization of farming, for instance, is necessary for agriculture. Ang paggamit ng mga makinarya sa pagsasaka ay napakahalaga sa ating agrikultura dahil imbis na mano-mano, ginagamitan na ito ng mga makina upang mapabilis at mapadali ang mga gawain. For example is paggamit ng mga traktor, makinang pang-ani at iba pang mga kagamitang pang-agrikultura, being the number one source of food production. Tools such as water pumps and sprinklers help in managing the damaging effect of extreme heat caused by climate change on crops. Ang paggamit tulad ng mga water pumps at sprinklers is nakakatulong rin sa pagkontrol sa mga masamang epekto ng matinding init na dulot ng pagbabago ng klima sa mga pananim, lalo na sa Pilipinas na nagkakaroon ng El Nino. Science and technology have also made it possible to produce genetically modified crops which grow faster and are more resistant to pests. Nagawa ring lumikha ng mga genetically modified crops and science and technology na mas mabilis tumubo at mas lumalaban sa mga peste. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng genetically modified crops? Ang genetically modified crops ay mga pananim na binago ang kanilang mga gene gamit ang mga teknolohiya sa genetika. Ang pagbabago ng gene ay nagbibigay daan sa mga pananim ng mga gene ay nagbibigay daan sa mga pananim na magkaroon ng mga bagong katangian tulad ng paglaban sa mga peste, paglaban sa mga herbicide, pagtaas ng ani, at pagpapabuti ng nutritional content. For example is BT corn. isang uri ng mais na binago ang genetics upang maglaman ng isang gene mula sa bakterya na Bacillus thuringiensis. Ang gene na ito ay nagbubunga ng isang protina na nakakalason sa ilang mga peste tulad ng mga corn borer. Ang fertilizers naman is nakakapag-increase ng mga nutrients in the soil na mas lalong mag-grow ang mga pananim at makapag-produce ng mataas na ani. However, many researches show that genetically modified crops and fertilizers made from strong chemicals are not environmental friendly. Maraming pag-aaral ang nagpapakita ng genetically modified crops at ang mga fertilizers made from strong chemicals is hindi maganda sa environment. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya environmental friendly. Isa na rito ang pagkawala ng biodiversity. Science and technology has improved transportation by land, air, and sea. Communication has also improved through technological advancement. Pinagbuti rin ng science and technology ang transportasyon sa lupa, panghimpapawid at karagatan. Umusbong din ang komunikasyon dahil sa pagsulong sa teknolohiya. With the internet and the rise of social media, information is transmitted easily and rapidly. For example is, kung may gusto kang ipakalat na information, pwede mo siyang i-post on Facebook. Through technological development, ways of learning also change. For example is online learning. Sa pamamagitan ng internet, mas madali na ngayong mag-aral kahit saan ka pang parte ng mundo. Learning management system used in education are now accessible through computers, mobile phones, tablet, and other gadgets. Online learning has also become popular in various disciplines like mathematics, physics, biology, geography, economics, and others. While science and technologies offer many benefits, they also have negative consequences. One is resource depletion. Ano ba ang resource depletion? Resource depletion means pagkaubos ng mga likas na yaman. Tumutukoy sa pagbaba o pagkawala ng mga likas na yaman tulad ng mga mineral, fossil fuels, kagubatan at tubig dahil sa labis na paggamit. Ang resource depletion is maaari itong magresulta sa kakulangan ng mga mahalagang materyales, pagkasira ng kapaligiran at negatibong epekto sa ekonomiya at lipunan. The increasing number of new and advanced technologies in the production and manufacture of different goods and services results in the depletion of the earth's natural resources. As technology progresses, we develop new and more efficient ways to produce goods and services. These often involve using more complex and resource-intensive processes. The increased demand of raw materials, energy, and other resources to fuel these technologies lead to a faster depletion of the Earth's natural resources. Example, consider the production of a smartphone. The creation of these devices requires a vast array of materials, including rare earth minerals. These are essential for making the powerful magnets in a smartphone, but they are finite resources found in limited location. Metals, aluminum, copper, and other metals are used in the phone's casing, circuitry, and components. Mining this metal can have significant environmental impact. Fossil fuel. The manufacturing process itself requires a large amount of energy, often derived from fossil fuels, contributing to greenhouse gas emission and climate change. Waste are also generated as these technologies are developed. People have also become too dependent on science and technology, making them disregard its consequences that may be damaging to the environment. Dahil sa labis na pagdepende sa science and technologies, hindi na napapansin ng mga tao ang mga posibleng pinsala nito sa kapaligiran. Ang pag-unlad ng teknolohiya ay may posibleng epekto sa ating pamumuhay, ngunit malaga rin na isipin ang mga negatibong epekto nito sa kapaligiran. Kailangan nating magkaroon ng mas sustainable na mga teknolohiya at mas mahusay na pamahala ng mga likas na yaman upang matyak na mayroon pa ring mga mapagkukunan para sa susunod na henerasyon.